Hello children. Okay, hope people are doing good and staying at home most importantly. Okay, so we have already started with this chapter, acids, bases and salts. And now today we are going to continue with the next topic, that is salts. Acids and bases we have already discussed, and of course you can come up with your queries whenever you feel like. For now I am going to discuss this topic, that is salts, with you people. As you all can see, I have tried to sum up all the things before you, so that when I'm explaining you are actually able to understand. Okay, chaliye, let's begin with salts. Now there are actually one salt which is very much common and known to you, which is there in your kitchen, that is your common salt. And what is the formula of common salt? Formula of common salt is NaCl. This is your common salt. This salt is very much known to you. Now, when it comes to the definition of this term salt, so salt are basically a group of or a category of compounds which is formed from an acid. This is a compound which is formed from an acid. This I have written, from an acid, by the replacement of the hydrogen in the acid by a metal. So what does this statement mean? You actually need to understand it, that salts are those compounds which are formed by the replacement of hydrogen in an acid by a metal. So this is your keyword, by a metal. Hydrogen in the acid is going to be replaced by a metal. And one more way of defining salts is, salts are those compounds which are formed by the neutralization of an acid by a base. This is the other way of defining salts. This definition can also be used for this purpose. Next, in order to understand this in a better manner, I have written names of certain common acids. Like HCl is one of the acid, H2SO4 is another one, nitric acid is the third category or the third type. Next one is carbonic acid. Formula of carbonic acid is, I hope people are knowing it. Tell me. Okay, so formula of carbonic acid is H2CO3. I just forgot that this is going to be one way. I am asking you. Okay, fine. Chaliye, koi nahi. You people can tell me on your chemistry group. Okay. So next is acetic acid. What is the formula of acetic acid? CH3COOH. Now there is one thing common amongst all these four, and this is a bit different from this category. Now all these four are mineral acids that we have already discussed, and this last one is your organic acid. But one thing is common with all the acids, that is all of them contain ionizable H+, ionizable hydrogen. What does this mean? Ionizable hydrogen means they are going to liberate or produce H+ ion in its aqueous solution. This thing is common with all the acids. Next thing is, when I am saying that a salt is formed, this simply means, like the way I have defined earlier, that hydrogen of an acid is going to be replaced by a metal. So say this hydrogen in HCl is replaced by any metal. You can take the example of any metal. Say it is sodium metal, or it could be potassium metal, or it could be calcium, or it could be magnesium. Any of the metals can replace this hydrogen. Then what you will be getting? Tell me. What you will be getting is NaCl. I have just replaced this H by Na, so it becomes NaCl. Now I am going to replace this H by K, so it becomes KCl. Now if I am going to replace this H by Ca, it becomes CaCl2. Now this time it is getting Why the Cl is 2 over here? Because the valency of calcium is 2 plus, and for chlorine it is 1. So crossing over the valency, you get the formula CaCl2. Next is for magnesium also, the valency is 2. So when you are going to replace H by Mg, then it becomes MgCl2. So these many salts are going to be formed by the replacement of H by any of these metal atoms. Okay. Next, if this H2 in sulfuric acid is going to be replaced, then what all things you can get? Again, you will be getting, if it is replaced by Na, sodium, then it is going to be sodium sulfate, Na2SO4. If it is replaced by potassium, then it is going to be K2SO4. This is potassium sulfate. If it is replaced by calcium, then it is going to be, valency of calcium is 2, and for sulfate also it is 2, so it is going to be CaSO4. If it is replaced by magnesium, then it is going to be MgSO4. This is magnesium sulfate. In the very similar way, you can make for all these three acids also. Okay. Now next thing that I would like to tell you regarding salts is, salts are mostly solids. This is the next important point that you need to keep in your mind. Next is, they have high melting point and boiling point. Third point is, most of the salts are soluble in water except few. Few are there which are not soluble in water. I can give you few examples which are not soluble in water. So salts which are not soluble are calcium carbonate, then it could be calcium sulfate, and few more are there. 2 is enough for you to know over here. Next is, yes, just like acids and bases, salts are also going to conduct electricity in its aqueous solution. In the very similar way, like acids and bases used to conduct electricity when you are going to make an aqueous solution of the acid or the base, so just like that only, salts are also going to conduct electricity when you are going to make an aqueous solution of the salt in water. Is of course, aqueous means in water only. Okay, so I hope this much is clear to you.